History of the Little Church of the West. El Rancho Vegas opened in 1941 as the first casino resort on Highway 91. The Little Church of the West was conceived by William J. Moore Jr. in 1941 as part of his plans for a resort hotel. Moore was architect and builder for his uncle R.E. Griffith of California, who built the Last Frontier in 1942 as the second casino resort on Highway 91. Moore described his reason for inclusion of a wedding chapel as an attempt to garner a share of the lucrative and expanding wedding chapel market in the area. While the Little Church of the West was built to attract business to the Last Frontier, it was also the first such facility in the Las Vegas area designed specifically as a wedding chapel, and it was located on the north end of the Last Frontier property. Making several trips to mining towns in Nevada and California, Moore finally selected a church still in operation in a Northern California mining town. The St. James Episcopal Church in Sonora was built in 1859 with 19th and 20th century late Gothic Revival architecture. After taking many photographs, he returned to Las Vegas and employed a local firm of architects, Walter Zick and Harris Sharpe, to scale down the measurements. They miniaturized the church, and the resulting blueprints were used for construction of the Little Church of the West. William Moore and the construction crew of the original Last Frontier are responsible for the building and form of the wedding chapel, which remains in its original state. The foundation and floor are concrete, over which carpet has been laid. While the exterior is made completely from cedar, the interior is stained and varnished California redwood. According to the current owner, it hasn't changed. I mean, there's been some painting and recarpeting, but the pews in there are believed to be the ones built with the chapel in 1942. Lighting is provided by 4 hanging Victorian lamps located over the center aisle. According to Bob Flint, longtime employee and photographer, these are also original to the building. They were gas lamps used in 19th century railroad cars and have been converted to electricity for modern usage. Captain George Calvert of the 4th Armored Division of the United States Army and Miss Helen Gates of Hollywood, California, came to Las Vegas Saturday afternoon for a quiet wedding. But they ended up being the first couple married in the Little Church of the West, with 100 guests in Western and pioneer costumes attending the ceremony, and movie actor Roy Rogers as usher because he was a friend of the groom. In 1946 and 1992, the advertisement in the Las Vegas Review-Journal announces it as the wedding place of the stars. Betty Grable and Harry James were the first celebrities to tie the knot in the chapel at 4 a.m. on July 4, 1943. The Los Angeles Herald-Examiner reported that actress Betty Grable married Harry James, a trumpet player and band leader, in a 5-minute ceremony at a hotel chapel in Las Vegas. Within an hour of the wedding ceremony, the two headed back to Hollywood so they could return to work for film and radio the next morning. Other celebrity weddings include Zsa Zsa Gabor, Dudley Moore, and Red Fox. Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton exchanged vows 24 years ago. This is Judy Garland and Mark Herron getting married on November 14, 1965. Richard Gere and Cindy Crawford were married in 1991. Crawford said, "Richard and I had been dating for several years, and at one point I was like, are we doing this or what? And he said, let's go to Vegas tonight. It wasn't the wedding I dreamed of, and the ring was made out of tinfoil because it was so last minute." Anne Margaret and Elvis Presley got married at the chapel in the 1964 movie Viva Las Vegas. The chapel has moved 3 times because of strip developments, and the first move was on June 9, 1954, from the north end to the south end of the Last Frontier property in order to make way for the expansion of the Last Frontier as the New Frontier in 1955. The frontier property where the chapel was located would become the Fashion Show Mall in 1981, so photographer Merle Richards bought the wedding chapel in 1978 from the Summa Corporation for $1 and moved it to the southeastern corner of the Hacienda property on the south end of the Strip. The Southern Nevada Historical Society gave Richards a certificate of appreciation in 1979 for saving the chapel. Merle Richards' wife, Charlotte, would go on to become the wedding queen of the West at the Little White Wedding Chapel. On September 14, 1992, the Little Church of the West was put on the National Register of Historic Places and is still the only Strip building on the list. The Welcome to Las Vegas sign is the only other Strip location on the list. And the chapel is the oldest structure on the Las Vegas Strip. Hacienda closed in 1996 to make way for Mandalay Bay, so the chapel moved a third time to its current location, exactly 0.2 of a mile south to the east of the Strip at Russell Road. Circus officials who were building Mandalay Bay offered Smith a lease package to remain at the Hacienda site, which the owner declined. Chapel owner Greg Smith said, "I just didn't feel that I could operate in the black under the terms of their proposed lease, and also we always would have been at the mercy of the landlord." So Greg Smith bought the 1-acre parcel of land where the Little Church of the West has been located since December 11, 1996, and he hopes the chapel never moves again now that it finally sits on its own land.
We would cruise the Strip in high school, and you'd see like the little church right in the middle of the Strip with this huge green belt. And happy people, and I was already in the wedding business.
Since it opened in 1942, at no time has the building been used for anything other than performing marriage ceremonies. When the chapel first opened, a marriage license cost just $2, and the ceremony fee was $5. Today, a marriage license in Clark County costs $100 more, and a quick elopement at the chapel will run $199. Veteran couples who tied the knot in the chapel some 55 years ago, some 10, stop by all the time, Smith said, happier to be a part of history. Most of them have tears in their eyes that this place is still here.